Thanks, Carrie. Cam Newton and the Panthers head to Foxborough tonight to take on the Pats for their third preseason game. Coming off of a shoulder injury last season, Max, will Cam Newton have an MVP caliber season this year?
Yeah, if he's healthy. Look, Cam, people are forgetting, was having maybe his best overall season last year before he got hurt. Then he got hurt. He still won a game or two, but he clearly wasn't the same. Couldn't throw the ball anymore. And what's always been the issue with Cam, Stephen A., is his best receiver was a tight end, and he was the best running back, basically. Oh, not anymore. Christian McCaffrey, by the way, is an all-purpose. He's basically Saquon Barkley Jr. Like, if there wasn't Saquon Barkley in the league, I'd have to take a long look at McCaffrey, in fact, as the best back in the game overall. He deserves that kind of, he's just like a little mini Saquon. He's that good. So he has the running back now. His receiving core, they're lacking a top receiver, but they have guys who can catch the ball, has a defense. Cam's been more accurate. The whole thing is his health. If he's healthy, I think the Panthers are going to be sneaky good, and Cam could wind up in the MVP conversation.
Nope. I don't believe it, and I got mad love for Cam. He's got to improve in throwing the football, but I know what a tremendous athlete he is. I know he's got a lot of heart. I think he's skilled. I applaud the fact that he improved his accuracy. I'm very, very happy about that. But here's the thing that you didn't pay attention to. What division are you in? That would happen to be the NFC South. Mm-hmm. Did you see the Atlanta Falcons? Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Calvin Ridley's a baller. Devontae Freeman is back. Matt Ryan had MVP caliber numbers last year. They were just saddled with a plethora of injuries. That's why Atlanta wasn't relevant. We know what the Saints are with Drew Brees and Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara and the crew. We know what them brothers are. So what I'm saying is, how can I even think about you being a league MVP when I'm wondering about whether or not you're going to finish in third place?
So if they win the division,
I'm saying it's not going to happen.
But I'm saying if they win the division, then the quarterback of that team is an MVP candidate.
Of course, and I'm saying no, that's not happening.
Okay.
I'm saying no, that's not happening.
I think there's a good chance
I'm saying that's not happening. I'd be happy to be wrong because that's Carolina, that's Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm partial to Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's not always about where you like to hang out.
I'm just saying, I got a lot of friends and family in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm just saying, I'm not that unhappy if they win. And I really, really like the coach there, too, okay? But the bottom line is, I can't see it this year, not from Carolina.
If he's healthy, he'd have been in the conversation last year. Mm-hmm. The only thing that it was a shoulder injury. That's it. Or else we'd be talking about, oh, wow, Cam just maybe had his best overall year.
Yeah, he got hurt against Pittsburgh when he was getting beat down by the Steelers. Let's remember that. That's the game he got hurt because they put something on him.
So you just went to the two wells you like to go to. First, it's where you like to hang out. And then it's you like the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's your argument against Cam Newton?
I have several wells.
Oh, gosh.
I have several wells.
One well we do want to check in on is our fans.
Well.
We do care about what the fans have to say. We did have a Twitter poll where we asked you about the topic we've been talking about all day. Should LeBron James help Carmelo Anthony get back into the NBA, as Royce White kind of suggested there? And 52% of you say yes, 48% say no, so kind of split down the middle.
Kind of split. I was getting ready to tell you, I don't particularly give a damn what the fans have to say personally.
I care about y'all.
But in this particular case, since most of them agree with me, we'll flow with that. Congratulations.
That's practically 50-50. I don't know the argument for LeBron not doing anything. You could help him out. Help
a brother out.
He deserves to be in the league.
That's it for us. Thank you so much for watching First Take. Stephen A., Max Kellerman, thank you for having me.
Good job.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Here we go.
Center right now, I'm Antonietta Collins. Week 3 of the NFL preseason is upon us. Likely the final dress rehearsal for starters before the regular season kicks off. We got 6 games on the slate. Here's what you need to know for tonight. Panthers reporter David Newton says head coach Ron Rivera would like Cam Newton to play 3 to 4 series at New England tonight. Newton has yet to play this preseason. The 30-year-old had shoulder surgery 7 months ago. And will Nick Foles play? Per Jax reporter Michael DiRocco, Coach Doug Marrone said final playing time decisions had yet to be made, but all signs point to most of Jacksonville's starters play against Miami. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens take on the Eagles tonight. The quarterback impressed against the Packers last week, completing 6 of 10 passes for 58 yards in limited action. So far, Baltimore's 2-0 this preseason. As for Philly, the jury's still out on Carson Wentz's status, but likely Philly's leading man will sit. In that case, expect brand new backup Josh McCown to get plenty of snaps as he acclimates to the Eagles' offense. Now let's get you back to First Take.
Thank you so much. We now welcome in NFL front office insider Louis Riddick. Hi, Louis.
How you doing?
We're well.
What you doing here? What you doing here, man? I mean, you got something on your mind?
Yeah, I got plenty on my mind. I just don't know if we have enough time to get to some of this stuff that I heard.
We gonna find the time.
You know what? I don't
we
like.
Gonna find the time, Louis
I don't like
Riddick.
pulling up social media and having people tell me, "Yo, your boy Stephen A. is calling you out about something." You know. But when I saw that, I was like, man. Okay, all right.
Let's go. Let's go.
We're going to have time for all that, though.
Let's go. Let's go. I like the suit. By the way, I like the suit. I like the suit. I like the suit. Smooth. Louis,
I'm glad you're here to defend your takes because he was coming at you. So we're glad you're here to defend yourself.
You know
let's go.
All right, let's get right to it. So we'll start off with Lamar Jackson and Carson Wentz. Their teams are facing off tonight. Which quarterback do you guys think is most important to their team's success this season? Max, how about you?
Go ahead.
Carson Wentz, obviously. Look, the Eagles 2 years ago won the Super Bowl. We're in a position to make a playoff run because Carson Wentz was the MVP of the league at the point he got hurt, but he got hurt, wasn't available. Nick Foles comes in, always been underrated since his days in the Pac-12, an underrated quarterback, and took him on a Super Bowl run, won. Same exact thing happens the next year. Carson Wentz gets hurt, not available at the end. Nick Foles takes over, plays him into the playoffs. And then, by the way, beats the Bears on the road and almost beats the Saints on the road. A valiant effort at a Super Bowl title defense. But Nick Foles is gone. And the Eagles roster, I think everyone agrees, is upgraded. They can't do it without Carson Wentz. There's not a backup quarterback who can do what what Nick Foles has done the last couple of years. And these are Super Bowl contenders. You know what the expectation is in Philadelphia? Super Bowl run. They expect to be Super Bowl contenders. If you took Carson Wentz off that team and put in a league average quarterback, it would not be the case. But people believe, because they have eyes, before Patrick Mahomes came on the scene, it was like, whoa, Carson Wentz. That dude looks like the next, Andrew Luck, the next who could eventually replace Aaron Rodgers as the best quarterback in the game, the most talented guy. That guy can if he can stay healthy. Of course it's Carson Wentz.
I disagree. I think it's Lamar Jackson. And the reason why I think it's Lamar Jackson is because I think the Eagles are a more complete team, even without Carson Wentz. I'm not saying they don't need Carson Wentz. I'm not saying that I don't expect him to be big time and electric, particularly when you just elected to let Nick Foles go to Jacksonville. But the flip side is, even though he's 40 years of age, as a veteran quarterback in Josh McCown, who just recently signed with them, you want experience there as a backup quarterback. Why? Because you look at your running game, you look at the receivers more importantly, the Nelson Aguilars, the Alshon Jeffries, the Deshaun Jacksons coming over. Zach Ertz was a monster last year with 116 receptions for over 1,100 yards. You look at the pieces that they have in place combined with their defensive prowess, and there's no question that the Eagles could make a run. Now, you need Carson Wentz to make that run, but that's what you need him for. If you're the Baltimore Ravens, you need Lamar Jackson just to be relevant. They obviously had some success winning their first AFC North crown for the first time since 2012. Where did that come from? Well, 10 games into the season, you put Lamar Jackson in there. His first game as a quarterback, he rushes for 117 yards. He rushes a hell of a lot better than he throws. He was absolutely pathetic in the first 3 quarters of that playoff game against the Los Angeles Chargers. That's some of the worst quarterback play I've ever seen in my life. He couldn't throw it. He could have hit Broadway if it was empty, for crying out loud. Standing on Broadway. That's how bad it was for the first 3 quarters before coming on strong and ultimately doing some things, but too little, too late. Lamar Jackson is everything to the Baltimore Ravens. If he can't make things happen, they are at best 3rd best in the AFC North. That's the difference.
Considering how Stephen A. came at me today, and I didn't even know it, it pains me to say I agree with you right now. Although I agree with you. Yeah. Okay? I agree with you for this fact. Look, Philadelphia needs a point guard at quarterback this year. And when I say that, I'm talking about in terms of the mentality that whoever plays quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles needs to adopt. Just like Nick Foles did in 2 consecutive years. As long as you play the point guard and you don't make it about you, everything else is going to take care of itself in Philly because of the playmakers that they have. And you, as the quarterback, are going to benefit and you're going to get all the accolades because your yardage is going to be just ridiculous in terms of completion percentage, yards per attempt, passer rating, touchdown interception ratio. They're set up to succeed. Now, I'm not saying that you can just throw any old quarterback in there if you didn't have Carson Wentz, and they would make it to the Super Bowl, as Max, you have correctly said. It's Super Bowl or bust in Philly. There's no doubt about that. But I think Philadelphia is so strong, and they've done such a good job of making this roster into what it is right now. And I think their coaching staff is so dialed into exactly what they have and how to best utilize it, that they will be. Look, they would be okay if Josh McCown had to play, because I think Josh McCown's one of the greatest pros that we've ever seen at the position, regardless of what kind of success he has had. He is the ultimate point guard type of player, and that's what they need. In Baltimore, there's no doubt about it. Baltimore goes nowhere if Lamar Jackson does not develop. Look, he has to develop his ability to throw this football 15, 20 yards down the field outside the numbers. If he does not develop that part of his game, teams will pack the middle of the field, Max. They'll pack the middle of the field. They will force him to throw the ball outside. They won't allow him. He cannot continue to get away with running the way he has.
Sure.
I know it's electric. I know it's exciting. He's not going to get away with it.
If you're asking who may be more interesting to watch their development, that's a different question. If you're asking which quarterback has to do more, in other words, who has less around him, that's a different question. But the question is, who's more important to the team's success?
But
you can't just have any old quarterback. Like, I really feel like Nick Foles has been slighted here. And this goes back to the Pac-12, Lewis, when everyone, obviously Andrew Luck, but also Matt Barkley and Osweiler were put ahead of Nick Foles, and they shouldn't have been. Then he turns pro, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Well, Chip Kelly's offense. And then he looks back with Jeff Fisher, because everyone does. And as soon as he gets another shot, he wins a Super Bowl and then leads a team on it. So, we're acting as though, I understand what you mean. You need a point guard, and McCown has been a point guard. You ain't going to win a Super Bowl with Josh McCown under center. That's not going to happen.
You're not going to make it to the playoffs if Lamar Jackson doesn't improve. And if you
the team's not as good.
And I'll tell you this, if RG3 has to play, you're looking at maybe a 6-10, 7-9 football team. Maybe at best.
But you might be looking at that with Lamar Jackson too.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they need him. They need him in order to have any shot at making it to the postseason. Philadelphia can make it to the postseason. I think they can make it to the postseason.
Who's a worse
they may not
team?
win the division, but they can make it to the postseason without Carson.
If we turn the question into who has the better team around them, obviously Carson Wentz has a better team around him. Okay. Is that the question?
Well, let's move on.
All right, so hey, Lewis, I just want to make sure to give you a chance to defend your Raiders pick, because earlier, and Stephen A., I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but Stephen A.
I heard he threw me under the bus, backed up over me with the bus, all that stuff.
He said, Lewis, that you need to be drug tested. Those
were
his words.
Yeah, those were words I heard.
Why do you believe in the Raiders so much? Defend yourself.
That's right. Okay.